What's up, Autobuyers? AG Puyat here with another car review. When you utter the name Porsche, what comes to mind are things like Le Mans racing, the 959 supercar of the 80s, and for my generation, the 911 Turbo from the movie Bad Boys. Now, owning a Porsche is a dream come true for many, and you can say it's a bucket list moment. Porsche has capitalized on this, and this is the result, the Porsche Macan. Now, the Macan has been available in the market for several years now, but this one, affectionately called the base model, is the most financially accessible member of the Porsche family tree. So, is owning one a fantasy fulfilled, or should you keep dreaming bigger? Let's find out. This is the Porsche Macan R4 by the numbers. Okay, so a little background about the Porsche Macan. In 2016, the base model was already offered, but it was sold at a lower price of 4.9 million pesos. Beginning in 2017, the base model bumped up in price to about 5.5 million. But with that, you get improved tech features like a cruise control, you got a navigation system, and you even got better features for the infotainment system like Apple CarPlay. And you also got more power with the engine. Speaking of the engine, at the heart of the base model Macan is a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder gas engine. In its latest trim, the base Macan makes 252 horsepower and about 350 Newton meters of torque. And of course, the earlier models, which had the V6 engines, gas and diesel, were priced higher than this. The Macan comes standard with a rear-biased all-wheel drive system and the 7-speed PDK dual clutch transmission. Okay, so Autobuyers, the first thing that you will like with the Porsche Macan is the impressive ride quality. Once you get acclimated and you start driving, you'll begin to appreciate that the Macan has a very supple ride. I was expecting it to be on the choppy side, of course with the sports car pedigree and knowing that engineers made this crossover to be more performance biased. But as it is, it rides pretty well. It strikes that very good balance between sporty and a soft ride. The Porsche Macan is a very nice vehicle to drive on long trips, just cruise on it on the highway. And people looking for luxury will find it in this aspect of the car. Now, the next thing that you would like with the Macan is the superb handling. When you climb inside, the car feels wider than you would think just by looking at it through pictures. But once you're inside, you notice, hey, it's wider than it looks. And that will impress you further because once you start pushing the car and throwing it into corners, it just behaves so athletically. And despite the higher ground clearance that it has compared to, let's say, a 911 or a Cayman, well, it still remains so focused when you're in turns. And steering is also so communicative. Like you just feel that the Macan is like a weapon that you can wield. where other SUVs or compact crossovers begin to daydream on you when you take them on a handling course, the Macan is there, constantly talking to you and saying, I can lean further, I can go faster. And you as a driver appreciate that, and you begin to meld with the car, and you want to go a little faster now. Okay, so now the third thing that you should be excited about with owning a Macan is that it's made in Germany. It comes out of the Leipzig plant in Germany, and because of that, what you get is a robustly constructed vehicle. It's tangibly superior to other premium products out there, and you feel it from the steering wheel to the gear lever to how the things are placed. It's just grade A build quality, and fit and finish is just superb. In fact, if you go over bumps like we've done a few minutes ago, and if you take it a little bit off-road, the car still feels so solid. There are no rattles. You don't hear any squeaky noises here and there. And when you're going fast, it's just that the car feels so well put together that it brings confidence to the driver. So in this regard, you really get what you pay for. Okay, so one gripe I have with the Macan is the engine. Now, the 2-liter turbocharged engine is not a bad engine by any margin. It's got decent power, it's got good fuel economy. You can do about 9 kilometers to a liter if you're driving a bit restrained. And if you're pushing the car, you're gonna do about 6 kilometers per liter. But what I don't like is it feels too muted. On one particular drive, I was, going a bit spiritedly, and I had to lower the volume of the radio just to hear it. It kind of feels too sanitized. All right, so another low point for me with regard to the Macan R4 base model are the brakes. Okay, stopping power isn't bad, but this is, after all, a Porsche, and I've got high expectations when it comes to cars from this brand. And after driving Porsches before, like in the Roadshow or the 911s and the Boxsters, the brakes in the Macan aren't up to par. You need to step on the pedal that much firmer. Like I said, for a car coming from Porsche, that's a bit disappointing. Not to the point of being disconcerting for the driver, but it could be better. One thing I'm not too hot on about a facet of the Porsche Macan are the wheels. Now, if you can see the car, it's endowed with, a very chiseled design. And although it's not a natural beauty in terms of car aesthetics, the Macan does look better than the average SUV. Okay, so this is the base model, and you'd say it comes standard with 18-inch wheels, which is fine, but I feel that a car of this stature does deserve nicer shoes. So yes, if there's one thing I would change with the Macan, it would be putting nicer wheels or rims on it. So now it's time for our Autobuyers Pro tip. Now, the allure of the Macan is that you can own a Porsche without having to sell your kidneys. And with the base model, there might be an itch to go for nicer wheels or the adjustable suspension. But remember, this is a car where they will get you with the extras. So if you're willing to fork out more money, we suggest that don't get the upgrades individually. Rather, go for the Macan Sport, which is equipped with the same 2-liter engine, but gets you the PASM or Porsche Adjustable Suspension Management, which allows you to tune the damper setting. It also gets you the air suspension for height adjustability if you plan to take the Macan off-road, which I doubt much of its owners will do. And it also gets you the handsome 20-inch mesh wheels, which will look very nicely on this SUV. Okay, so the Porsche Macan is an impressive piece of machinery which blends everyday usability with Porsche's sports car pedigree, and you can have it without breaking the bank. Well, not that much. For some people, it's enough performance, and well, it will outhandle 90% of SUVs out there. However, on one drive going home after leaving all those lumbering SUVs behind, I happened to inch by a Porsche 911, and quite frankly, as I inched closer, I began to feel inadequate. And personally, if I owned the Macan, well, my bucket list would still go unchecked. So, thanks for watching our review on the Porsche Macan. Remember to follow us on Facebook. Also, check us out on Instagram. And check our website, autobuyers.ph. Thank you guys, and I'll catch you next time.